life, the atmosphere. Now, admittedly, there is much mystery here. I do not think any of us can understand exactly why it is that God waits until Christians pray before he begins to do what he has intended to do all along. And even stuff that he has announced that he would do. But the fact remains indisputably that's exactly what God does. He waits. He waits till someone prays before he moves. It's almost like it's a law. It is almost like it's a law. Until the Christian, the believer, prays and put that thing into practice, God ain't going to do it. Even though he's already proclaimed that he's going to do it, but he's going to wait. He's going to wait. So I'm jumping around, so just bear with me. Jesus is telling us here that God has granted powers of binding and loosing to every believer. And until we act upon them, nothing will happen. James 4:2 says, you have not because you ask not. It's that simple. God waits for us to pray before he moves. There are powers of binding and loosing given to us. And in the realm of our personal lives, they are almost absolute. See, I can't take the power of binding and apply it to your life, Pam. I can't bind things in your life. But in my life, it's almost absolute. It's almost indisputable that I can bind things in my life. Amen. Somebody ought to say amen to that. I mean, there's some stuff I know y'all want to bind. Amen. So we have power to bind every form of evil in our lives. And you do it every day when you lock your doors at night. You set the alarm system. You lock your windows. You're binding evil from just waltzing up in your house. Evil has to forcibly break in your place. So we have power, even in the physical lives, to bind evil. Romans 6:14 says, sin should have no dominion over you. Sin should have no dominion over you, you believer. It should have no dominion over you. Sin should have dominion over the unbeliever, Amen. The lost. So how does sin have dominion over the believer? Because the believer don't believe. And the rest of the verse says that, where am I? Says, and for you are not under law, but under grace. Okay, I don't think y'all got that. Okay? I wish I had a flat surface here. But I set this phone here. I'll put this Bible over top of it. The phone is under the Bible. Okay? So now take the phone, make it you. Take the Bible, make it the devil. The devil now has authority over you. You are placed under the devil when we put the law in place of Christ and try to use the law, try to use doing good as a means of pleasing God. See, the law is there to point to you and me how evil we are. So as we fulfill it, we know we've been doing it because we took ourselves and we took Christ and we placed ourselves under Christ. So you're not under law, but you're under Christ. In other words, you're going to serve somebody. You're going to serve somebody. There's no middle ground. People that talk about they're not interested in the Lord, they're serving the devil. People that are in, church, you're kind of halfway in, kind of halfway out, you're serving the devil. So the majority of us, me included, majority of our lives, we're serving the devil. Majority of our lives. He has the authority over us, and we have voluntarily placed ourselves under him. Mercy. Lord, help us. Mercy. Majority of our lives. He has the authority over us, and we have voluntarily placed ourselves under him. Mercy. Lord, help us. Mercy. For by grace, we have power to bind every evil force that is within us. The 10th chapter of 2 Corinthians. What book?
10th chapter of 2 Corinthians.
The 10th chapter of 2 Corinthians, just write it down. Paul indicates that our warfare is not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers and wickedness in high places. We are warring against evil authorities and powers in high places. We have power to bring them under our control. And if we reckon ourselves dead to sin and alive to God. So when our flesh start welling up in us, when we start hearing how, oh, I would love to do that, or oh, how I love to do this, and we know that it is sin, we know that that is wrong, we know then that sin is alive in us. That the fleshy part of us has become alive, and we need to put that to death by resisting. So here we are. No matter what you have been, no matter how weak, no matter how failing, how faltering, you have been exactly as victorious as you have wanted to be. So no matter how weak you are, no matter how much you're struggling, no matter what you're going through, you have been as weak as you wanted to be. It all resides in you. For there is granted to us power in Jesus to bind every contrary force, every evil motive in our lives, and to loose the flood of spiritual power through us, not only in our lives, but in others as well. Now what I'm talking about. Intercessory prayer. Intercessory prayer. You ever heard somebody praying and praying and praying for a lost loved one, just continually praying and praying and praying, and that person finally comes to Christ? You have loosed a spiritual power into that person's life. 40 years. We have that ability, and I wish I could spend more time there, but I got to move. So as we look at these words about binding and loosing, we can see that though we do not understand all there is to understand about them, nevertheless it is apparent that prayer is the authority. Prayer is an authority which operates in mystery. It is the link to that invisible world, which is the control center of all human life. Prayer is the link to that invisible world that is the control center of all human life. We stand on the frontier between two worlds when we pray. Therefore, as James said, the effectual fervent prayer of a righteous man or woman has great effect, availeth much. Amen. Availeth much. James 5:16. Now, you are standing between two worlds. What are you going to do about it? You have all this power. What are you going to do with it? Do you even understand what I'm saying? Have you missed it? Do you get it? Can you create the atmosphere to bring the thing that you want to come to pass? Because the atmosphere became reality.
Amen.
Think about this. Now this is the next thing that I want us to look at. And we're still good. We're still good. So just, garner up in yourselves. If you fall asleep, lick the roof of your mouth with the tip of your tongue. It's so annoying. It wakes you right up. I do this when I'm in meetings. It works. It works. So it is true that prayer is an authority that works in mystery. Do you really care how it works? I really don't care. I just like the fact that it works. Amen. But it's also authority which is expressed in unity. Verse 19. All that was for verse 18. Now, check this out in verse 19. Are you there? Come on, talk to me. Are you there? 18. Matthew 18, 19. You have it? Say amen. 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 And again, I say to you that if two of you agree on earth concerning anything that they ask, it will be done for them by my Father in heaven. This is a plug-in for prayer meeting. Christ doesn't say, if you agree with yourself, then anything that you touch, I will give you. He says, if two of you, because he knows the issues that we have with agreement. We can't agree. And that's why I feel for churches that try to build a church, go try to get all them people to agree on the color of the carpet. Come on. Ain't gonna happen. So how can we agree on something as deep as, well, I think that I should go into acting. Yeah. I'm 50 years old. I think that I should go into acting. We're gonna move to Hollywood. We're gonna rent a little dump down in, in the worst part, because you can't, rent in Hollywood is ridiculous. How you gonna get Sister Etta to agree to that? We're gonna sell everything and live off the proceeds while I become a star in Hollywood. Ain't gonna be no agreement there, right? Ain't gonna be no agreement there. But think about it. What if the two of them could agree? What if? Now that takes this scripture and put it in a whole another realm of reality. Take the most difficult thing that you can think of that would involve somebody else. And if you could convince that person and know that that person is in agreement with you, the Bible says y'all can do anything. Go to the Tower of Babel. Let's go back to Genesis. Look at the Tower of Babel. Everybody had the same language over the whole world. It was one language. And because the people were in agreement, God had to stop what he was doing. He had to come down and he said, let me see what they're doing down here. They're building a tower, Robert. And God's like, hold up, heavenly procession, angels just hold a song right now. I got to go see this. They're building a tower. Those fools are trying to come to heaven. They're trying to come up. They're trying to prevent me from destroying them or the earth in a flood. So they're going to build a tower. He's like, my goodness. They won't stop building this tower if I don't confound their languages. Right. Because agreement will cause you to do anything. As stupid as it may be. Building a tower. And the fools would continue to construct. They probably would still be building on that tower. If God had not confounded, confused the languages. Power in agreement. So when we come together in prayer meeting, think about what happens. Deuteronomy 32:30. Deuteronomy 32:30 happens when we come together in prayer meeting in agreement. That does not happen. Actually, would you turn the air down for the getting real cold? That might keep people awake, but it's kind of mean. Something happens at prayer meeting that we have missed because we have yet to really come together on something as big as having our own building, having a congregation that is beyond our realm of reality in terms of size, of having a minister of music. See, because we had no agreement on that thing, our minister of music is gone. It's gone. And God is going to wait. He ain't going to send somebody. He's going to wait till we agree. And that might happen after we come and we experience a few Sabbaths with no music. Is it going to take 6 Sabbaths? Is it going to take 6 months? Is it going to take a year? Is it just simply that everybody going to say, forget that Acts ministry. I'm going over here. They got a music ministry over here. I ain't going to learn nothing but the music. It's going to be good. Because I'm telling you that what God has given you today in this garbled up sermon, if you apply it, it will literally change your lives. And I'm not done with it from just today. Come Wednesday night, we're going deeper. And what you will begin to see is that those of us that can come into agreement, it ain't going to be the whole group. I understand that already. Because, majority of folk just ain't going to come out. Between now and Wednesday, something's going to happen, and they're just not going to be able to make it out Wednesday night. But those that come, and that, and just coming don't mean that you're in agreement. But those that come and can agree. Deuteronomy 32:30 says that one shall chase away 1,000. And then we marvel at that. We get all amazed, and we doing the dance, Robert. We getting all excited, right? Hey, I got chased away 1,000. Huh? Think about it. If you join with one other person, two of you can agree. You can chase away 10,000. 10,000. The giants in your lives and mine are 10,000 giants. It's not 1,000. That's only maintenance. That's only keeping us chugging along, barely getting by. The 10,000 giants is going to require that you yoke up. Two. And think about if we get 5, 10 of us. Individual that I follow, he was talking about a church that they birthed, and how they birthed this church from about a family of like 7 or 8 people coming together. And they grew to over 300. And then they did an evangelism series. And on the first night, they had 900 people. On the first night, 900 people. That's the power of agreement. That's the power of agreement. But what does that mean? What does that mean for you? What does that mean for me? Well, until we get more focused on others, God says you're going to just be about maintenance. You're just going to be maintaining your struggle. But to bring a second person into your life requires for you and the other to be more concerned about the other person's needs than you are about your own. See, that's the agreement. And that's when God steps in and says, now I'm going to do what I already said I was going to do for you. I already told you that if you return the tithe, that I'm going to open up the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing that you won't have room enough to receive it. I've already said that. I'm going to do that. I'm bound to that. But I ain't going to do it until you pray with agreement. Till the two of you agree. And then whatever you touch, whatever you say, anything is possible. That's a strange ratio.